This video is about the Market Weighton Canal, one of Great Britain's lesser known canals, and unfortunately one of Britain's most neglected and least appreciated. Yet it was in its heyday quite an important commercial canal. It was early in the canal age and it continued in commercial use very late into the 20th century. So here we are at the entrance to the Market Weighton Canal, which is Weighton Lock, and we're looking to the south over the River Humber. In the distance on the right is the point where the River Trent joins the Ouse to form the Humber. In the foreground is the channel leading to the Market Weighton Canal and Weighton Sand, an island wildfowl reserve. Beyond this is the main shipping channel, and in the distance Lincolnshire. The lock was built in 1773. It is a very substantial stone structure, but it is built on a timber raft which rests on a bed of rushes laid on the peat and subsoil under the water, and it has been there for well over 200 years. It continues available for use by boats to this day, although the authorities do require advance notice. Here you can see the mechanism used to work the lock, some of which is original. The canal was constructed mainly for drainage, with transport as a secondary consideration. And because it was designed to drain a very low-lying area, Walling Fen, quite a lot of which lies actually below mean sea level, the level in the canal itself is maintained at just below mean sea level, and therefore quite a long way below the high tide level. The first village served by the canal is Broomfleet, about a mile away from the line of the canal. There is still a designated landing place there, and on the opposite side of the canal, that is the west side, there was at one time a small boat yard, and here is a shot of a barge under repair. This area is a popular venue for fishing matches. The road from the West Riding to Hull was very uncertain. The route through Walling Fen, this low-lying and boggy area, was virtually impassable in winter, and the only practical means of access to Hull was on the River Humber itself. So the point where this road crossed the canal became a very important transshipment point. And the village of Newport grew up, where probably before the canal was built only a couple of cottages existed. Now Newport is a large village which owes its existence to the canal. And of course now the canal route at Newport is crossed not only by the original road but by the M62 and by the old Hull and Barnsley railway line, and further to the south from Newport by the still well used main line from the west to Hull. Here we have a shot of the first and rather elegant bridge built over the canal in Newport. The present bridge has about 9 feet of headroom for boats, and in spite of the theoretical closure of the navigation here, it is still perfectly navigable. The excavation of the canal resulted in the discovery of very large deposits of high quality clay suitable for brickmaking, and a flourishing trade quite quickly developed in brick clay. It is said that clay from the Market Weighton Canal was mainly used to build Hull. At one time there were 22 brickyards served by the Market Weighton Canal. And here we see Humber keels and sloops loading bricks at the brickworks wharf. The old works is seen here in a very atmospheric evening shot, not long before demolition. And even today, one of the largest works in Europe is close by the canal. This shot shows the canal toll taker's cottage perched on the canal bank in the middle of Newport. There was an uncertain river which ran through Walling Fen. Very difficult probably to tell the river from the surrounding marshland. And the canal was built along the approximate route to the north from the Humber to Newport. To the north of Newport, the original course of the River Funa diverges to the west, now deepened, and the canal continues northwards. First inland lock is Sodhouse Lock, another substantial stone structure. It is listed and built on a timber raft like the entrance lock. This is 6 miles from Humber and as far as boats can now get. Some restoration was done here in the 1970s. There is now a set of historic photographs dated about 1900 taken at Sod House or nearby. The first one is of the lock from the canal below, and if you look carefully you can see the mast of a boat inside the lock. Note also the curved balance beams, which are just made from one piece of timber. The next shot shows the swing bridge just above the lock. Our third shot shows the lockkeeper in his boat sitting outside his cottage. And now we have a shot of the towpath on the pound above the lock, a peaceful country scene. The next shot shows a humber keel on the length above the lock. A long open length of canal now follows, running through comparatively featureless open countryside. On the left hand side lies the Land of Nod, formerly quite a spacious landing place, and here there were some cottages, a farm and also a public house, the Anchor Inn. I do remember having a meal when travelling the farms as a schoolboy with my uncle in the 1930s. Beyond the Land of Nod are several attractive sections which still hold water and have potential as wildlife habitats. A length here was re-excavated in about 1980. The road crossing at Cliff Lane lies just beyond the Land of Nod, and beyond that are the remains of Mill Lock. Here is Mill Lock, firstly about 40 years ago, when it was largely intact. And as it is now, with only a part of the east wall remaining. The next feature is Homing's or Reformatory Lock. This lock was for many years used as a rubbish tip. The rubbish was removed and the lock partially restored in the 1970s. On one side stands the former St William's Reformatory School, now a secure mental hospital, and on the other side lies Lock Farm. Also at this point, the home canal, or the Vassar's Canal, diverges to the left. This was originally planned to run to Lonsborough, but a shortage of water resulted in it terminating at the home road barely half a mile distant. A short section at the junction has very recently been filled in. This is the section at the junction before being filled in. The canal now passes a former swimming pool enjoyed by boys at the reformatory school. The canal itself continues straight ahead to Riverhead, the terminus, or the present day terminus. Many people from Market Weighton used to come skating on this length about 75 years ago. Here is the canal warehouse, now listed building, and the remains of the canal basin now very much silted up. For about 70 years, a regular packet boat ran from the canal terminus here via Newport and Weighton Lock to Hull, carrying both passengers and goods. There was also a public house, the Star Inn. The Back Delphin drain runs alongside the whole length from Riverhead to Sodhouse and fed water to each section of the canal. Another 2 miles to the north lies Market Weighton, but unfortunately this length of canal was never built as the money ran out and the railways came, again very early to Market Weighton in the 1840s, and from then on any hope of finishing and extending the canal as originally planned had to be abandoned. This last length of canal would have entailed the building of 6 canal locks, which would have been very expensive. The path and beck cross the busy Market Weighton bypass to reach the centre of the town. but the Canal Act provided for the beck to be diverted into its present course due south from the town to provide a water feed to the canal. The terminus was originally planned to be at Bow Bridge in Market Weighton. The point where the Weighton Beck ran under the home road to become the Skelfrey Beck. Just a few yards from here is the Market Hill with its statue of Giant Bradley. This is the heart of the town. This brings us to the end of our visit to the Market Weighton Canal. We hope you have found it interesting and informative.